it's time to get started this morning. Good to see everybody. The elders share, I'm going to say almost daily, text with one another. Sometimes the text chain can be that long. Greg sent us a thing last week that I wrote down I really like. You can kind of file it away in your brain housing group. Instead of designing a church service to attract people, have a service that attracts God. He will draw the people. So I think that's a very important statement to kind of put it in the back of our minds that God knows best when He designed His Word. He revealed His Word to us and how He wants to be worshiped and how the church is to function and operate. We will stick with that plan. Just to get our minds warmed up. It's getting to be that time of the year where people are going to start working out if you don't already. You know how it is. You see all the advertisements on TV with the walking machines and all these great things, and that'll last about anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. We need to strengthen our spiritual muscles as well. And to get the blood flowing this morning, what are some ways, before we get into our 4 questions I ask you to answer, what are some ways that we can grow, build our spiritual muscles? Prayer for sure. Study. Bible study, prayer. That's the first 2 I had. What else? Hospitality. Okay. All right. What else? John?
Encourage and admonish.
Encouraging, admonishing one another. And how do we do those kinds of things? We're going to do it here in a little while. One of the ways is through psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, as Paul said. We strengthen our spiritual muscles through worship. Do you think that's true? It absolutely is true. We strengthen our spiritual muscles through the works that we do, through our works. Proverbs 27 and verse 17 says that iron sharpens iron. So a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Iron sharpens iron. In layman's terms, or what does that mean exactly? Iron, God revealed it to the proverb writer, so it's 100% true. What does that mean, iron sharpens iron?
Make each other better, stronger, and more useful than by ourselves?
Yeah. We make each other better. And I suspect more so than even we could do by ourselves. In fact, I know that's true. Iron, is that a soft metal like a copper? Gold? No, it's a hard ore. It's very, very hard. So it takes a lot. Go ahead, Lisa. I'm sorry. I didn't see your hand.
No, I was thinking the same thing, but it's like I need to be as strong as I can be. It's my job to be reflective and be as strong as I can be so that I can strengthen someone else, so that in turn they can strengthen me. I need to be as hard or as strong as I can be. That's my responsibility to myself as well as to my brethren.
Well said. 100% right. Stan.
It's the idea that you need to be challenged. You can't look for the easy way out of everything. And I was thinking, sports. A basketball team could play nothing but weak teams and win 20 games in a row.
Yeah.
But they're not ready to play a good team. They'll get blown out. And we've seen that happen before. But iron sharpens iron means that we have to challenge ourselves. We have to sometimes things are difficult, and that's okay, and that's good.
Things can get difficult, and in any context. You know, if our jobs were easy, anybody could do them. If college was easy, well, anybody could do that. No, it's hard. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, whatever we do. And Bible study is a lot like that, is it not? Now, there are some things, you know, and God in His infinite wisdom gave us how to become a Christian. That's not difficult. You know, if you can see through a ladder, you can see what it takes to become a Christian. But there's a lot of meat in that, in His revelations as well. It takes about a lifetime to learn it. Iron sharpens iron. Greg.
There's also just an aspect of doing. If you have an iron sword hanging on the mantle, it's not going to get any sharper. It has to be used. It has to be put engaged, and that's what James tells us in James 1. You can't just look into the perfect law of liberty and I know it. You've got to go and then do it. And it's look and do, and that's that exercise of whatever talents I have. I've got to be exercising them, not just planning to exercise them one day.
Right. We used to have, a long time ago, we had, back before they had these computerized, we had this thing in our bedroom, you know, with a bicycle with that. You know what it became? A closet. That's where we hung clothes on it. You've got to use it, whatever the context might be. You've got to use it, because it's pretty hanging on a wall, but you've got to use it. And so we got to work. That's how iron sharpens iron. I read this. I was going to save it for a little bit later, but I'm going to use it now. Listen closely, and I want to get your opinion. We're going to get to our questions, I promise you. Life change happens in circles, not rows. Life, I see some blank looks. We're going to ferret it out. Life change, fill in the context, whatever. Life change happens in circles, not rows. Anyone? Veronica's my backup, because we talked about that on the way. I said to Veronica, you bail me out now if you have to. Ryan and Gary.
I think if we look at Judges and the circle cycles that they went through, they ended up at the same spot every time.
Okay.
7 times over. But it's up to us to change that circle through study, meditation, and everything that we've discussed, to change that circle to where we don't end up at the same point every year or every 5 years or whatever that is.
Oh, what you said is true. That's not what I was looking for, but it's true. It's true. What you said, a true statement. Greg.
Sometimes I minister to people by doing for them, and one day they have the opportunity to do back for me, and that's the circle that can happen in all kinds of ways in life.
That's what I was, that's true too, not what I'm looking for. Can you not read my mind? I'm going to keep searching here. I'll give you I'm coming. I got 3 or 4. We sit on rows. That's a little hint. Rick.
I can just say old habits just, and they're just, you know, you can have some success, but you can come right back.
Okay, true statement, not what I'm looking for, but 100% correct. John, you can't read my, John, I'm going to go to Michael, then Lisa. Very succinctly.
Someone having to reflect on themselves so they can change.
That's true, not what I'm looking for. Thank you, though. You guys are good. Micah?
Spiritual change is going to happen sitting in the pew. It's going to be out in the world, growing up.
Say that a little bit louder.
Spiritual change isn't just going to happen sitting in the pew. It's going to be going out and trying to grow with brothers and sisters and evangelism to other circles.
Now, we're blood, but I did not tell him that. Spiritual change does not happen on rows. It happens out in the world. Now, I'm going to amplify. I think Lisa's going to amplify that just a little bit.
Okay, it's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. You're right about that.
My thought was that a row has a start and stop, and it's all facing
That's true. Not what I'm looking for, but that's true. Okay. Micah, Gary.
I don't know if
We're going to move after this one.
this is what you're looking for, but in my work life, we had a philosophy of 360-degree improvement. So you have a plan, and you go through that plan in a circular motion, and you just come right back where you started and keep it going, keep it improving.
True, not what I'm looking for. I did not set the context. Lance, you want to?
I was wondering if circle, you're talking about your circle of friends.
You're getting warmer. It's hard, we're here, 2.5 hours a week on a pew. Very important. Got to do it. Where does a lot of spiritual growth happen? In huge crowds or in a circle? That's what I was looking for, and shame on you for not reading my mind. Personal growth, I believe that so much, happens in circles rather than rows. And I think that's why one of the things the elders have talked about quite a bit, we got our small work groups, we've got Anchored Hearts, we've got all those types of things, and a lot of growth. Ladies class, you fill in the blanks on this. When the church at Jerusalem, some of it was 3,000, and then there was 5,000, and then it was multiples of that. So the church at Jerusalem could have been 30 to 50,000 people. When we get into Acts chapter 2, verses 42 through 47 in a little bit, do you think they met, talk about they met daily from house to house and all these things? It's hard to, with 30 to 50,000 Christians in one church to get what needs to be done. I know that they met in small groups. So spiritual growth not on pews necessarily, but in circles. But what you guys said was really good. I hadn't thought about some of that, but that's where I was going. And I should have saved that till I laid a little groundwork for the context. Brock is going, yeah, probably should. I think once we get to this mindset of Galatians chapter 2 and verse 20, I've been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. I think when we finally dig down deep within each of us, and we realize that it's not us that live, it's Christ that lives in us through his crucifixion and through our crucifixion through him, things become a lot easier. Do you believe that? They become a lot easier. In other words, we might say when you're all in with Jesus, things aren't difficult. They become difficult when we waffle, when Mitch waffles at times. You believe that's true? 2 Corinthians 13 and verse 5. We talked about that last Sunday and also Wednesday. Examine yourselves whether you're in the faith. Some of your versions say, test yourselves whether you're in the faith. Anyone want to comment on that? He goes on. At the end of that, he says, lest you fail the test. What does that imply? Gary, real succinctly.
It implies reflection, but I think of myself, that usually happens for me once a week during the Lord's Supper. How did I do this? Am I accountable to what I'm doing right now, remembering the Lord's death?
Okay.
Those kinds of circumstances.
Okay. Parable of the talents we touched on Wednesday night. It's like Greg with his sword up on the wall. It's pretty on the wall. Jesus expects us to work. And we also talked that he said, he did not say that, you're no good, you're an adulterer, you're an evil person, you're not a good He didn't say any of that. What did he say? You're not doing anything. And you can be ushered right straight into torment because of that. You had the talent, you didn't do it. We have to do it. Okay. Questions before we get to the question to ask you. Jared, go to slide number 8, please. And then Greg's going to take over the screen. Keep going. Yeah, quickly through that. I don't want anybody to see that. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't y'all look. Okay. All right, put the first question up if you would. All right. What is Monte Vista doing well today? I need one thing from a lot of people, and Greg's going to write it down. Now, there will be copies, if you want them, to the answers to those 4 questions. We'll have copies for you. So, what is Monte Vista doing well today? From your perspective, just give me one, very succinct. Tom, I'll come to you next. Rick Watley.
Friendliness.
Just one. Say it again. Friendliness.
Friendliness and welcoming to all.
Welcoming to all. That was my first one that I had too. So welcoming and friendly. We can come back and touch on some of these and amplify a little bit. Tom, then I'll go with Peggy.
One word, communication.
Communication. Help me out a little bit, Tom. I agree with you.
You got me.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Rick.
I can answer that.
Okay.
The informing of the members of what's going on.
Okay. Informing the members. We hear a lot in all kinds of contexts today about transparency. That's the new buzzword in business and all kinds of things. Transparency. Do you think that's true here? I see a lot of heads, and I'm so thankful you're shaking your head positive. The elders, how much time do we talk about that and spend on that? Now, there are some things we cannot, personal things we cannot tell, and you wouldn't want us to tell. But we try our best to be transparent. Stephanie, you had your hand up, and then Michelle.
Encouraging and edifying.
Encouraging / and edifying. So true. Do you want to amplify just a little bit?
Well, personally, my husband and I have had a lot of challenges in the 6 months we've been married, and this group has surrounded us with love. And I'll get emotional if I keep expanding on it, but
Okay.
I love this group, and they made me feel part of them, and they supported us in so many ways.
So well said. And coming from relatively new members, that means a lot to us old heads. It does. It means a whole lot, more than you know. Michelle.
Bible class curriculum, teachers, teaching opportunities. That's too good, that's okay.
Bible class teachers, the Bible curriculum, and more
Curriculum and a teaching opportunity.
teaching opportunities. Now, that has not always been the case. We've made a conscious effort as elders to encourage those things. One thing that we don't like is, well, we've always done it that way, so therefore, so shall it ever be. We don't operate like that. We just don't. You got to give people. In fact, let me ask the question. I'm coming, John. When we give more teaching opportunities, and we have a better curriculum, if you will, the people who get involved in that, what does that make you feel like? And it's to Stephanie's, one of her points. More a part of or less a part of this church? Without a doubt. Involvement is a way to grow you and a way to grow the church. Miss Ashton.
I feel like there's a very big support for personal and spiritual growth. I think that that's something that we do very well here, and
so well said. Everybody can have a safe trip home. Ashton just put it in about 5 sentences, what I've been trying to say all morning. So good. So good. And Teresa?
Our song worship and working on making our song worship better and things like that.
Teresa said, case for the back, we do. It's an intentional effort to improve our song service, our song quality, to develop more song leaders. Our quarterly song, all these things where we try to get better, learn new songs. I didn't have that on my list, I don't think, but I like it. I like it a lot. Lance, Tony, I'll come to you next.
The focus on the younger, and I'm thinking Teen Weekend.
Lance said teen weekend kind of thing where, we're back to circles versus learning spiritual growth on rows. Teens, you see the circle of the teens? That's where I was wanting to go with all of that. It's a smaller group, but that's where a lot of growth takes place. Micah saw that down in Florida College, I'm sure, with some of your smaller off-site kind of things, or whether we're singing on the beach or whatever it happens to be. There's a lot of growth takes place. You believe that's true, Micah? 100%. Miss John, sorry, John. I got a lot of hands now. I'm going to have to. John, go ahead. Sorry.
Love for one another.
Love for one another. How does that manifest itself, John?
Looking out for each other, what their needs are, caring for each other. Benevolence, whatever you do.
Okay. Really good. Really good. Peggy, she was, and then I'll come to you, Carolyn. Taylor, I'm sorry, you were next, but that's okay. Go ahead, Peggy.
The addition of our prayer service, I think that, and the willingness of the elders to add new things like that.
Yeah. Peggy said our prayer service that we have on Wednesday nights every quarter, we've heard a lot of good comments about that. Focus on specific prayers, specific needs, that kind of thing. We've never done anything like that before. We thought, we'll try it. If it doesn't work, guess what? We won't do it. But I like that. Taylor?
As eager and excited as we all are to find our full-time preacher, I feel that all the men who have stepped up have, I don't come thinking, wondering, or is it going to be enough? I feel like we haven't really been missing a preacher, for lack of a better way to say it. Everybody's really stepped up and done what they needed to do to so fulfill
Okay.
that spot.
No, that's good. Taylor said that, the men have stepped up. In this case, the men have stepped up to preach. But I will tell you, adjunct to that would be, have had men and women, a lot of women. But we've had men step up and do other things too. Preaching, that's kind of the visible thing. It's important. That's why we're on the road for a preacher. But there's a lot of behind the scenes things where a lot of men here who are growing, who are fairly young in the faith, are growing and doing things that a lot of people don't know. And we are so thankful for that. And let alone the women. The women, you're just better than we are. What can I tell you? Carolyn. Margie, I see you. I'm coming.
To go along with that, we have a variety of people doing different parts of the work here. It's not the same people trying to fill all the different roles. There's many things to be done, and we have a wide range of people working.
Carolyn said, very important, that we have a wide range of needs and work here. And boy, do we ever.
Breaking the 80-20 rule.
Yeah, we are. But there are people who are we're seeing this more and more, and that's the gist of this class, is looking to see what you can do to help out. Because once we get in this building program, you know, you have to crack a few eggs to make an omelet, but it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. And we're going to need people to step up and, could you do this? Could you check in to see if that school, I'm just throwing stuff out. This wasn't in my notes. See if they allow us to maybe meet there on Sunday for 3 months or for whatever. There's going to be opportunities for everybody here to get busy helping out during this program, this building program. Now, once we get the building done, you're going to be happy. But boy, oh boy, we're going to be breathing dust for a while. Really good, Carolyn. Margie, you had your hand up for an hour. Oh, Daisy, I need to look over here. Go ahead, Margie, and then go Daisy.
I just want to go, going along with the focusing on younger people. I appreciate the fact you're focusing on as older people who do not have a husband or their husband doesn't belong to the church. And I really appreciate those classes.
Well, good. Margie said that focusing on the young is very important, obviously. However, or maybe in addition to, focusing on the older people as well. Widows, widowers, needs, people need to be taken to doctors, you know, all these kinds of things, need rides to service. We're pretty good about stepping up on those things. And we've got a couple of guys here that, I don't see Dennis today, but Dennis is just taking that bull by the horns. He and Nelson Stevens, of course Nelson's gone right now, but so you don't have to come before the elders and go, would it be okay if I did this? Here's the answer, yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Why don't you do that? But the operative word is do it. Miss Daisy.
Lance took mine, but there's another one. The new men Christian, the opportunities they have to grow and participating in the worship.
The opportunities, Daisy said, for new converts, new men in this case, to participate in worship. Now wait, but what if all they're doing is passing the trays in the back? They're still learning. They're still doing. Maybe you can't preach. I can't either. But maybe you can't preach. It's not a sin. Do what you can do. That's really good, Daisy. We try our best to talk among ourselves on how can we get more and more involvement. Stephanie.
Really good shepherding. We have excellent leadership that really care about the members and about doing the right thing in the eyes of God. There's a lot of planning and providing great classes and services.
Stephanie said that good leadership, I kind of, standing here, you don't want to get too much, but caring about the members. What was the other point you had there? Planning, a lot of planning goes in here. We'll roll out our theme January the 11th, the new theme for the year. And we take that very seriously. You know, when we get here sometimes at 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, well, not now maybe, but since we start at 9:30, but 8:30, 9 o'clock, and sometimes we get home on Sunday night at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, because we take this seriously. That's not to say, we look at each one another and we'll laugh at times and say, yeah, but we get time and a half. Let's see. I don't know much about math, but time and a half times 0 is what again? We got a good retirement plan, though. We all do. Rick.
One thing that might be higher up on the list is we follow the scriptures here. We're good at that.
We do. Rick said, maybe number one, probably number one, is number one. We follow the scriptures here. Now we could draw, you know this, we could draw a big crowd here. Put some basketball hoops out back, Stan could be giving instruction. We could be building. We could be building a kitchen. We could do all these things. And when you walk in, you smell the coffee and the donuts. We could have a crowd here that would blow the doors out. We could. That's not what it's about. A long time ago, back when the church split back in the 50s, 60s, I remember one of the old elders, long dead now, said, if it takes hamburgers to get them here, it'll take steak to keep them. A whole lot of truth to that. Because you're never satisfied. More entertainment requires more entertainment and more fun and frolic. It just does. That's not what we're about. Kevin, I think I saw your hand earlier, brother. Okay. All right. Encouraging. Yeah. Okay. Now, that's a great list. Does anybody have any more to add to that list? It's very exhaustive, but very good. Very good list. Rick?
I really have appreciated our goal focus that we have annually. It's been very good.
I agree, and you were involved a lot in that early on. Our annual goals, and the presentation that's coming up in the 11th, where we are, where we're going. No, that's good. Stephanie, I think we'll move after Miss Stephanie.
Our group leaders are doing a good job. The needs of the members are being met because of their effective communication and encouragement program.
Group leaders. We love them. Ryan Dart's done a great job coordinating all of that, but our group leaders, and we've changed, we're going to go this way, then we'll tweak it a little bit. And I know we tweak and tweak and tweak, but our motivation is to try to get better. And sometimes we'll tweak it and we go, no, we Ryan say, that didn't work. Let's drop that like a hot potato. We'll try something else. But our group leaders, so important. And we change them and they grow. We've got younger men coming up that have never done that kind of work before, volunteered to do it. That is awesome. That is really good. And that's the first step in many steps going forward. Because we're going to be gone one of these days, these old guys. They're going to be dead. And we need people now, and we're going to need them in the future. To keep this church what it needs to be. Really good, really good. Let's go to question number 2. Now, we're open and honest here. Now, I just as soon quit and say, have a good day, because that list was more exhaustive than what I had. That was a wonderful list. All right, now, what can Monte Vista be doing better? Remember, it's constructive criticism. Constructive. That's why we're having this class. We can do better. We can do better as a church. We can do better as individuals. We can. And as Lance said, he talked about that 80-20 Pareto and all that. It's a whole lot bigger number than that here. A whole lot bigger number. And because around the country, that 80-20 rule holds pretty steady. That 20% of the people do 80% of the work, not here. That's not to say we can't do better. Now, Gary, help us out how we can be better.
I want to go back to the group thing, and I'm talking about Gary here, nobody else.
Okay.
But when I get that email from the group leaders, sometimes I'll think, well, I know of somebody else that will take care of it, and I shouldn't be doing it. If I know I can do it,
not assume. Let George do it. I don't think we got a George here, so I can say that. Let George do it. Do it. I'd rather do it twice than not at all. Yes, ma'am.
I remember like earlier in the year we had like an evangelizing class that Stan and Sean did. I know I'm talking to me as well, but like I would like more of that, being able to learn how to evangelize to other people outside of church.
Great comment. Great comment. Our primary goal as Christians is to do more evangelism. And we've had classes, and the elders talk about this all the time. What can we do to encourage more evangelism? Classes for sure.
Well, I really enjoyed that one class, which is why I was like, I really liked it a lot.
No, our goal is to do that, Denise. Absolutely, 100%. Now, our new preacher, when we get him, is going to stretch us on evangelism, and we need to be stretched. What are we doing? Pardon me, what are we doing to evangelize community, our neighborhood, our family, even the people? Sometimes evangelism can be done in this building. No, excellent point. I love it. Michelle, then Micah, and then Carolyn, do you have your hand up? Oh, okay. Boom, boom, boom. Here I'm coming.
Piggyback on what Elise was saying, but even just intentional follow-up from classes that we have might also encourage that, because I feel like we have intentional things set in place. And this is me too, like you get something going and then you forget to follow up, so it fades in the background when you've already done really good work. So maybe even just intentional follow-up, that includes the goals and everything.
Yeah. Follow-up. It's nice to have it's nice to have goals, it's nice to have themes, it's nice to have whatever. But we have to follow up. That's really important. I'm going to touch on that a little bit.
Does that to get feedback?
Yeah. Micah.
I think this is definitely more of like a individual effort kind of thing. I think could be a better job in trying to incorporate different types of demographics, and like just spending time with each other and really growing with each other. I feel like a lot of times it's easy to teens hang out with the teens, older people hang out with the older people, and a lot of that is the elders have set aside different times for Bible studies and organize those kinds of things. But I do think there needs to be more of an intentional effort to kind of break down those walls between different
Micah said for the back, there needs to be an intentional effort, and these things are intentional. Intentional effort to make sure, whether you're old, young, I'm paraphrasing now, you said it better than I did, old, young, whatever, to get to know one another and understand each other better. Because what old people have a tendency to do. I remember back when I was... People don't want to hear that mess. And I'm pretty good about doing that sometimes. But, yeah. We've got to move here. We can finish up Wednesday night. Teresa, real quickly.
Well, I know that we talked about being friendly to visitors and stuff, but what I need help is to notice who's here and who's not. And especially sitting up in the front, I might turn around, we'll talk on the way home. Did you see so-and-so? Did you
Yes.
see that kind of thing?
Teresa said it, and this is very important. What a concept. The people in the back need to get to know the people in the front. The people in the front need to know the people in the back. Now, when there's a break, don't sit on your pew. This ain't a pew sitting church. Get up and move around and get to know people, get to talk to people. Pew sitting ain't going to get the job done with the Lord, I can tell you. Get to know one another. I agree, Teresa. We do that on the way home. I get bogged down talking. I said, was so-and-so there? The elders said, was she there? Were they there? We need to follow up with that. Back to the following up again. Do we follow up with visitors? Some of us do. If I'm a visitor, I'd rather have 10 cards than 8. I'd probably rather have 3 phone calls than 1, or 4 texts than none. You're not going to overstep anybody to make sure that you, visitors need to feel welcome here. And they do, they really do. But we can always do better. Carol, we're down to 3 or 4 minutes here. Look for opportunities. Did you see my list? Looking for more, sure. Look, John, we'll have to wait on that one. Looking for more opportunities to serve. Carol said, don't be wait to be told what the opportunities are. And Carol will never, Carol will never toot her own horn, but Carol's one of the best about doing things, and she'll never say anything. But she's always active doing, sometimes she tests the elders. Well, have you all thought about, Carol, but we listen to her because she has some really good ideas. You don't have to be told. Just do it. Just do it. Perfect, Carol. And we do appreciate you. Margie, I guess we'll have to do 3 and 4 Wednesday night, which is okay.
This is very hard for me to ask, but I would like to have a ride on Wednesday nights, Bible class, for myself and 2 little boys. I can't see you to drive.
Margie said that she would like to come on Wednesday night. She can't drive anymore. And those boys need to be in class. Let's make that happen. Let's make it happen. Maybe we'll get a list of 3 or 4. You can't do it, somebody else will go to number 2 on the list.
Just put Wednesday night.
Just Wednesday night.
No, for everyone, just in general.
Yeah. Attendance. Now, I'm going to tell you, people need to be here for Bible class. We should not have a gap of 20 to 25 people coming in after the class is over. This is where you learn. It just is. Carol.
Just following up on that, if you need something, say something. Don't wait for somebody to come to you.
Okay, and Margie just did. Yeah. But you're right. We're not like I tried to be a mind reader. Y'all read my mind at first, and I didn't set the context. I didn't have see something, say something. But because we don't know. I think that's critical, really. Don't be afraid to say something. I need this, I need that. How can I help? Whatever. Because so many times, how many times have we used the term, we don't want anybody at the Monte Vista Church of Christ to fall through the cracks? 0, not 1. But sometimes, if we don't know, that may happen. So Margie's let us know. The challenge has been levied. Lisa.
I don't think, some people I don't really understand that when you teach, you grow more than it doesn't matter what age, you grow when you teach, because you put your heart into it, you learn so much.
You do.
And I think there are many here who do not teach. Bible classes specifically here that could step up to teach, whether it be with a partner or something, and so to have to take the chance and learn how to teach a class, no matter how young or up through high school age. But be willing to take that step and to ask for help if you want to learn how to do that or to have the strength to do that. Encourage to do it. would grow, but then they would be such a benefit.
Lisa talks about more teachers. I think it's so true. The one who learns the most is the teacher in almost any class. And we always need teachers. And if you don't know, say, well, I don't know how to teach. We have a house full of trained school teachers. I was one of them. But I'm just a piker compared to a lot of these others who are real teachers. I'd like to learn how to teach. Well, find a teacher who does this for a living and talk to them. Now, we have teachers that teach in the school system that could step up here, too, and teach.